Hello. So let's talk about the Jewish month. The Jewish calendar is based on lunar cycles. Toward the beginning of the moon cycle, it appears as a thin crescent. That is the signal for a new Jewish month. The month grows until it is full. That signifies actually the middle of the month, and then it begins to wane until it cannot be seen, and it remains invisible for approximately 2 days, and then the thin crescent reappears and the cycle begins again. The entire cycle takes approximately 29 and a half days. Since a month needs to consist of complete days, a month is sometimes 29 days long. Such month is known as chaser or missing, and sometimes 30 full days. Knowing exactly when the month begins has always been important to Jewish practice because the Torah schedules the Jewish festivals according to the days of the month. The first day of the month, it's also called Rosh Chodesh. Nisan is the first month of the Jewish calendar. Before the Jews left Egypt, on the first day of the month of Nisan, God told Moshe and Aaron, this month shall be to you the head of months. So that's the beginning of the Jewish calendar. Even though the year begins on Rosh Hashanah, the first moon of the month of Tishrei, but Tishrei is not the first month according to Jewish calendar. Rosh Hashanah is actually referred to in the Torah as the first day of the seventh month. The Lord spoke to Moshe and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This Chodesh shall be to you the head of months. Exodus 12, 1, 2. From the wording of this verse shall be to you, the sages deduced that the responsibility of consecrating the Chodesh, the crescent new moon, was entrusted to the leaders of our nation, the Sanhedrin, the rabbinical supreme court of every generation. Originally, there was no fixed calendar. There was no way to determine in advance the exact day of a coming holiday or bar mitzvah, because there was no way to determine in advance when the month would begin. Each month anew, the Sanhedrin would determine whether the month would be 29 or 30 days long, depending on when the following month new moon was first signed, and would sanctify the new moon. In the 4th century, the sage Hillel foresaw the disbandment of the Sanhedrin and understood that we would no longer be able to follow a Sanhedrin-based calendar. So Hillel and his rabbinical court established the perpetual calendar, which we follow today. According to this calendar, every month of the year, except for 3, has a set numbers of days. The rules of the perpetual calendar also ensure that the first day of Rosh Hashanah will never take place on a Sunday, Wednesday, or Friday. When Hillel established the perpetual calendar, he sanctified every Rosh Chodesh until Mashiach will come and reestablish the Sanhedrin, hopefully very soon. The following is a brief description of the procedure of the Sanhedrin. Followed days of yore to determine the date of the onset of the new moon. On the 30 days of every month, the Sanhedrin would open for business. In a large courtyard in Jerusalem called Bet Yazek, witnesses who claimed to have seen the new moon on the previous night would come to give their testimony and be cross-examined. The members of the Sanhedrin were well schooled in astronomy. They knew exactly when the new moon would have appeared and where it would have been visible. Nevertheless, the sanctification of the moon depends on the crescent new moon actually being seen by 2 witnesses. The word this implies something that it's actually seen. The rabbis of the Sanhedrin would question the witnesses in the order of their arrival. They knew that the proper responses to their question ought to be, and were this quickly able to identify fraudulent claims. Starting with the elder of each pair, they would ask, tell us how you saw the moon. In which direction was it in relation to the sun? Was it in the north or south? How high in the sky did the moon appear to be? In which direction were the crescent tips facing? How wide was it? After they had finished questioning the first witness, they would bring his partner and question him in similar fashion. If the 2 accounts collaborated, the evidence was accepted. That day, the 30th day, was now declared Rosh Chodesh, or of the new moon. The head of the Sanhedrin would proclaim Mekudash, sanctified, and everyone would respond, Mekudash, Mekudash. The previous month was now retroactively determined to have only been 29 days. The following night, the second night of the month, huge bonfires were lit on designing mountaintops. Lookout station on other mountaintops would see that the fire has been lit and would light their own fires. This chain of communication led all the way to Babylonia, so that even very distant communities knew that the day beforehand have been declared Rosh Chodesh. Eventually, the Samaritans started lighting fires on the wrong days in order to manipulate the calendar. To prevent this confusion, the fire on mountaintop method of communication was discounted, and instead messengers were dispatched to Babylonia and all other four flying Jewish settlements. This took a lot longer, a delay which had and still has a halachic implication with regards to observance of the second day of holiday in diaspora. If no witness came on the 30th day, either because the moon has not been reborn yet or because it was not visible, then the next day, the 31st day, was automatically declared Rosh Chodesh, retroactively rendering the previous month a full month. Members of the Sanhedrin would go to highly visible location where they would partake in a celebratory meal to signify the new moon, the new month. No fires were lit that night. The new month is always either 30 or 31 days. If they hadn't lit fires the night before, it was understood that the new moon started on the 31st day. I hope now it's a bit more clear. Have a great day.